Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Rajiv. Today I'm going to make a small video about how to charge your Tesla Model 3. So stay tuned. So the first question you might ask yourself is, how hard could it be? It's a simple plug and play device. All you gotta do is put your charger in there and your Tesla will charge. And in most cases, in most scenarios, you're exactly right. Tesla has made a very intuitive car, and it is as simple as plugging in the charger and letting the car charge. But when I first did my long distance journey and never had previously used a Tesla supercharger before, there were a few questions running through my head, and I was, suffice to say, not in a panic mode, but I was slightly dreading my first charging point. Well, hopefully this video will provide you a little bit more information on what is involved when you charge your Tesla Model 3 out there when you're doing long distance journey or even charging at your own home. So stay tuned.
So the best way to find a Tesla supercharger is directly through your console or your infotainment system. Now all you gotta do is, while you're going over there, there's a little button at the left hand corner at the very bottom end which has a lightning sign in a circle. As long as you press that, it kind of gives you all the charging station closest to you. Now the one that I have the closest to my home at the moment is the Wokingham UK supercharger, so I'm just going to click on that one.
Now turn left onto Ingleyfield Place.
And voila. But let's say you're doing a long distance journey. Let's say I want to go to Manchester, right? Let's go to Manchester Airport. Of course, the distance over there is way too long. However, what the infotainment or the Tesla can already do for you is it can detect what kind of supercharging stations are along the route. So in order to maximize or make your journey the most efficient, it'll find the charging station at this point, at the closest point where to get to your destination, so you can have the minimal charge left to recharge and get to your destination as soon as possible. So as you can see, if I were to go to Manchester, there were plenty of charging stations along the route, but it found me the one that's closest to the airport so that I could make the most efficient use of my time. However, let's go back to the original place, Wokingham. Okay.
Now turn left onto Ingleyfield
and
Place.
we are gonna go straight to it. So what it's doing right now is it is preconditioning the battery for supercharging. So if you put the supercharger as the destination, the battery has to be preconditioned so that the charging can, go smoothly or be rapidly charged up, because you're really charging it at a fast rate. And I think it has to warm up the batteries or has to do something with it. So this sign comes up saying that the battery is going to have to be preconditioned before, and it recognizes how far the battery, the supercharging point is, and starts to precondition the battery before we get there. This is the Tesla charging supercharging point. Now what you have is two different type of Tesla chargers. The one that is for Tesla Model 3, of course, is the top one. Now I had a bit of an issue when I first came over and tried to charge my car because I had no idea how to take it off. I kept on pulling it. I had no idea. I thought it was locked, so I had to actually go to my app and open the particular machine before I could charge my car. But that's not really the case. All it is you as simple as that. You want the one that looks like this, it has two different charging ports, the top and the bottom. So you go to your Tesla, press, you open the device, and it's simply as plug it in. Once it's plugged in, the blue light will come up. Go. So we're inside now, and I just want to show you how quickly it charges. Now initially when we started, we were at 67%. We're still at 67%, and we want to see how fast it takes to get from 67 to 77%. Now I've set the limit for this car at 80% for the time being, because that's how much I usually put it for when I'm doing commuting, right around the city or just nearby. So to charge from 67 to 80%, it says it's going to take 10 minutes in the supercharging. So that's how quickly it does it. So that's what charging at 67 to 7, that's like 13% charging from there to there is about 10%. which is slightly different as well sometimes, because when you actually look at it, if you do it from like literally you're at 5 to 10% and then do it to a full charge, it takes about 35 minutes. So what I've noticed is from the time I've spent charging these cars in the past is that the higher charge you have, the slower it gets. So if you're actually at the very bottom end of it, the charging is really rapid. You'd be surprised at how quickly this can actually go up. You might go up almost in every 3 or 6 seconds is going up by 1%. So that's really quick. However, the higher it goes, so the higher charge you have, the slower it gets to charge. The other thing I've noticed about charging Teslas is when you're sitting inside, you might hear a ting sound, like something popping, and that's actually the batteries itself. Sometimes you'll notice a spring go off. It seems to me that when you're charging the car, something physical happens to the battery and that produces that sound. It's nothing risky or dangerous, and I haven't actually seen anything like that, anything come out of it. But yeah, as you can see, it's charging really quickly. It's at 68%, and we'll count. So at the moment it's 12:51. We started charging at 12:49. Let's see how long it takes.
So these are the signs that you see displayed on the Tesla supercharging points. The sign basically tells you how long you have to charge your car. So 60 minutes is a bit of an overkill. You can usually charge your car far less than that, but I guess that extra time is for you to get to the car before you are charged a penalty. So make sure you charge your car or before the time ends, because I'm pretty sure there's a camera around the area monitoring your car being charged or parked over at that spot.
So as you can see, it's charging. So if no one's at the front seat and you've got another car, you will see this screen gives you a clear indication of how fast it's charging. You can also get regular updates on your phone. So let's say that you are inside a service station and you're having your lunch and you're waiting for the thing to get charged up. So when it's about 95% charged or 95% charged to your set limit, they'll send you a notification in your app saying you're about to finish charging. So we are at 9 minutes 15 seconds and we were at 68%. Now it might be slight bit of a discrepancy, but we are at 75%. We initially started charging when we were at 67%, and then as you can clearly see, we started charging at I think it was at 52 or something like that, but I'll get back to you that. So as you can clearly see, the car is charged at 76%. I have accumulated £1.20p for this session. So if you wanted to, you could also stop charging by this button over here. It's a physical button, or you can actually go to the device itself. So if you go to the app, and you can actually stop charging, and then you can unlock your charging port. So you can stop charging and you can unlock your charging port. So I am gonna stop charging, and you can hear that sound saying it's stop charging. As you can see in the screen, it's stop charging as well. And all I have to do is unlock my charging ports. As you can see, the blue light has come up now. The blue light says it's no longer charging because a green light flashing means it's charging. So the blue lights come up. I still can't take this off because it's still not unlocked yet. So I just go to my app, unlock charge port, and you can hear the sound. It's white color, and you can take your charging port off simplistically. All you gotta do then is put it back up, and it's done. The hatch, of course, closes automatically. I'll be honest with you, I've never found the actual full charge to give me the distance they've advertised, like the 200, and if I'm not mistaken, for the standard basic range that I have is about 230 to 250 if I'm not mistaken. So I've always found that the best thing to do is, if you want to understand how far you can go or can't go, is go to your settings, go to your energy readings, and in that energy reading bar it shows you the average distance. And when you actually put your trip, so for example if you put your postcode or your destination inside your trip planner and you actually click this button, it actually gives you an idea how far you can go. So just to give you an example, let's say I wanted to go to from here to Birmingham Airport. Okay, now if I click on the Birmingham Airport, it tells me how far the distance is. Now if I go back into the screen and to the energy on the trip, it actually tells you how far I can go before I need to charge. Now they said the entire trip, by the time I start from 77%, I'll be there when I'm actually at 15%. And what they've done is they've taken the last 30 miles reading, or the last reading for the last 30 miles, to predict your driving, the capacity that you have, and what the capacity will be by the time you get there. Now the thing is, this can vary depending on how you drive. If you drive faster, it'll change and it'll update update in real time. But one of the things I realized is that now, as you can see, the complete distance from here to where we need to go is a distance of 105 miles. Now I'm at 77% battery, and when you think about it, by the time I get there, I'm only going to be at 15%. So I've used, in all honesty, I've used about 50% of the battery, or I'd say no, not over 50% of the battery, and it's just given me 100 miles range, you know. So at home, what I have is I've installed a pod point charger. Now this is in the UK. I actually took the government grant, which gave me a significant discount, and the one I opted to choose was the one that is universal port, so that you can use your own charging cable, and you can charge basically any vehicle that you have. The two different options you can get is the dedicated and the universal one. The one that I got is this. It looks like this, and as you can see, all it is you clip on the cable. The difference between this and the dedicated charger is the fact that you actually have, for the dedicated one, the cable coming out of this. That's really the only difference you have. So if you have a look at over here, this is the cable that Tesla provides you. I myself realized that after I bought the Tesla that I would have preferred a slightly longer one. This, as you can see, the distance, I've been told it's about 3 to 4 meters long, which might be the case. I'd say 4 meters long, but the problem with this is I don't have the length I need to park my car outside the garage and plug it in and close the garage door. Therefore, I think if you were to get a charging cable, get a slightly longer one, it'll be more beneficial for yourself. So I'll quickly demonstrate to you how I plug the charger in and you know, get it charged. It's pretty simplistic, really. So as you can see, we are right-hand drive in the UK, and of course I think it doesn't matter what country you're in, the charging port for a Tesla Model 3 is always going to be on the back left-hand side corner. So this is where my charging port is, and of course when I charge it, they say the best thing to do is completely unwind your cable. And once it's completely unwound, oh god, I feel like I'm fighting a python. Open the port, and as you can see, the difference between a Tesla supercharger and this is it only's got a single head as opposed to both the heads. You put it in, and as you can see, the blue light comes on over here. So all the blue light is doing is giving you an indication now that the cable is connected and it's locked in. So that means you really can't take it out without unlocking it. As you can see over here on this one, it started flashing green. It doesn't mean it's actually started charging yet. It just gives you an indication that it will start charging, but the connection is secure. So once you've set this up, close the garage door, and as long as you scheduled your time to start charging at the right time, it should go forward smoothly. It's pretty straightforward, really. The way I found out, when I was at 10%, charging from 10% all the way to 100% for a trip next day, I think it was about 8 hours for me, but I think it does vary depending on the temperature and everything. One thing I've been recommended, and I think everybody should be doing, is trying to plug your car in every night and keep it at 80% if you're doing short distance commute. But if you're doing a long distance commute, of course, make sure that you put your battery charging capacity all the way to 100%. Another thing I've realized is that the battery is significantly affected if it's cold. So if you store it outside your garage, the functionality might decrease, and even the longevity, the life of the battery might actually go down. So all in all, the most important thing is to actually, if you can, store it indoors and plugged in every night to charge it to the capacity that you're going to be using the next day.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's as simple as that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I certainly enjoyed making it. If you did like it, please make sure you hit the like button downstairs. And if you'd liked it even more, please could you subscribe to my channel. I'll do my best to make more videos out there for you to enjoy in the future. Thank you for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.